So that's how we do it. So first of all, let me compile it so that we would see what I have an error here which says that could not open. Oh yeah. This is an error. I'm not using Windows. Windows might work like out of the box for you, but let's check something right from here. Arduino ID. So when you're using Arduino ID, you need to initiate your introduce your port. All right. So let me show you how we do it. So anytime you are using your Arduino and you want to compile to the board, first of all, you come here and initiate your board, which is I am using Arduino, and you initiate your port. That's what we did from there. So here you initiate your port, but I'm not initializing it here. I can do it here, but I'm not compiling the code right from here. All right, so this will be of no use if I do it from here. But in Windows, this might work for you, but I'm not on Windows, so I need to initialize it using my commands. I have some commands. Let me close this one and then stop it. Go. Let me see. What did I use there? Is it so sudo chmod? So this is a permission to initialize my board /dev, which is the port /tty acm0. Alright, so let me give my password. So this is initialized. My board has been initialized. So if I run the code once again, you will see that yeah, you should have the high, low, which means that our program is really going on. And if you were to be by my side, you will see my LED blinking. So great. So I will just take a snapshot and then show you afterwards. Alright. So let's get it back and then let's get this up and running. So this one will work perfectly. I think we are getting behind, far behind time. So our next step is to read input from the board. All right. So as we know about digital read and write, we also know about analog readings. So I did reading right here. Let me stop this process. So this is a little bit might confuse, so I have added some comments so that you would try to read and then understand the code. Right, so how this works is we have our parameter here first, and from there we have something called the iterator, which is going to iterate. Iterate means looping through. All right, so from there we just initialize our board here for the component, and we just do some try and except here. We can omit this, but we are just trying to make our code a little bit cleaner. All right, so after that, if you want to receive input from the board, all right, we use the iterator to iterate through the board and just get the board. All right, so there is a method in FireMatter called the util, which has the iterator function, which will iterate through the board and just start it. So here we are using the try. Try will just try to run this code before getting here. So it will just make sure that the board is being iterated. Alright, if the board is not iterated, it just throws an error. Alright, so this place is making sure that our board is really working to for us to receive input from the board and output from the board. Alright, so from there we just do our normal while loop true. Here you can do just while 1. Yeah, this thing will work because while true is like while 1. They're basically the same. Alright. So while true, we initialize something called the analog readings. Alright. So here you read your analog, and there is a method on it called the enable reporting. So this is from the Python method. You can read the documentations and know more about it. And then from the reader function, you just read from the board. But here we are taking pin 0. That is the takeaway. So what you define here is what you placed on the board. Alright, so that's what you define. And now we are basically, if you run this, it will just read the board. Let me comment this and just see what happens if we try to read what's on the board. Now I have my RF sensor placed here. Let me just Google the RF sensor for you to see what I'm using. IR infrared sensor. Let me see then. I think this is what will just pop up. Yeah, I'm using this guy. I am using basically this guy. Oh, the network is really bad. So it's an IR sensor which takes in and it receives an input and just decides. So it has 3 legs. Alright, one for VCC, which is the power 5 volts, and the middle one is for the ground. Let me open it and see so that I can see it very well. Oh no, the network is, yeah. So we have the ground, we have the 5 volts, and we have the digital pin. So this digital pin, the analogs, you can use the analog or digital, both work. So this is where the input is being received. Alright, so if this one triggers, there is a light here that emits. Alright, so this light is for the power. This light emits when there is signal being received. Alright, so here is what we are reading. Here is where we give the analog readings from our code, where we define the board.analog read right from here. I hope you understand. So if we are reading from where we are reading is this guy. So I have placed my Arduino on my breadboard, and then I have placed this device there, and I've used my jumper wires to connect this part of the leg to the Arduino analog read 0. Right, so as we proceed, we will know how it works.